I would say I've always been an anxious person.
I got myself into this exhausting circle mentally of just my mind racing all the time.
Actually, since I was 8, I had problem with anxiety, and those problems reflect in the way I approach food.
I had an eating disorder from my late 20s into my early 30s.
I've been through a lot, and I had a lot of issues, a lot of problems with self-confidence and my self-esteem, stemming way back to school days.
It kind of was a relief to be told I had anxiety, because it gave me an answer, and for someone who kind of always needs answers to everything, it was nice to just be able to say, okay, well, that's the thing that I can now learn how to cope with at least.
I just didn't feel happy. I didn't feel like it felt like there was something that wasn't quite right, and I couldn't really put my finger on it.
When you imagine yourself having a baby and having a family, I think you automatically think of being, this amazing earth mother. But I think the actual reality is, well, for me in particular, it was just not like that.
Anxiety and how it showed up for me was that feeling like every emotion was very, very raw and right near the surface.
During the pandemic, which I feel like a lot of people did feel quite lonely, and even though sometimes you have a lot of people around you, you kind of feel like no one fully understands what's in your head.
I'd be wrong to say that I don't, it's gone, because it hasn't gone. In my opinion, an eating disorder will always be part of you.
For many years, I've built up a persona of being a really confident person, of being a really bubbly person, of being a really happy person. So it's even harder for me to speak out about my struggles, because I feel like people don't really believe me.
It's very easy to hide behind humour, and so that's something I would say is probably not a very healthy coping mechanism.
It took me years, and sometimes I regret that I haven't started before, taking care of it and admitting my problem.
So I was always afraid that my experience with mental health, or things that I was struggling with, would make people worry about me or feel sorry for me.
I think guys in particular, there's a real pressure to be macho and masculine and the strong silent type, and I think that's really, really damaging, and I think that's one of the main reasons the male suicide rate's so high.
For me, it was all about changing my perspective.
It was actually someone senior here, a director here, that pulled me aside and said, what's going on with you? I think you need to get some help.
It just was great to talk to someone about it.
Actually, one of the best forms of therapy for me is to be able to just say openly to someone, oh, but I have anxiety. This is what I'm kind of working through.
Therapy really helped me as well as my passions and my close friends and family.
I don't think I would cope if I didn't have my creative outlets, which is why I always encourage people to find something to pour themselves into.
I found it also a lot of peace in painting.
I just basically sit down, write what happened the day before, and so often stuff will just come out that I didn't even really know was there.
We don't look at the inside, and we don't look deeper and think about how we're mentally dressed.
Recognising that you need help is the hardest part.
We are all an ongoing piece of work. No one of us is at the end of our journey.
There are always better days, there's always sunshine after rain.
Fai con quello che sei, fai con quello che hai. That means do it with what you have, do it with what you are.